Breaking news we're tracking at the moment. All eyes are on the Madras High Court as we are expecting the verdict for Jana Nayagan to be out shortly. It is D-Day for Thalapathy Vijay as all eyes are on the Madras High Court, which is set to pronounce its verdict in just a few moments from now in the censor row that has stalled Vijay's much-awaited film Jana Nayagan before he takes on the role of a full-time politician. Lata joining us with the latest details. Lata, we're given to understand that the verdict will be out shortly. What is the exact legal question before the High Court today?
Okay, the latest news coming in is that the judge has allowed the writ appeal and the single judge order has been set aside. This is the latest news coming in, and he says that the producer can amend the prayer in his writ petition. So this is the latest news that is coming in, which is that the single judge's order has been set aside. This is the news that is coming in right now.
Lata, what does this really mean then if the single judge's order has been set aside? What does this say about Jana Nayagan's fate?
Well, you know what this means is that the single judge didn't give CBFC enough time to appeal or to present their case and just gave the verdict. But right now, what everybody is saying is that, that the movie will release on 30th. There is a lot of rumors going around this, but this is not true because if the single judge's order is set aside, then it'll probably go to a revising committee. That is what is likely to happen next.
All right. And how central is this issue of this film being sent to a revising committee after cuts were allegedly accepted as we speak right now?
See, it is important that it goes to the revising committee, if at all that is what the judge pronounces. If that happens, then we'll have to see, the certification that is issued and then, of course, the release date. From what I hear is that the producers have reached out to overseas distributors giving a release date of February 6th. That is what I'm hearing right now.
So, Lata, just to clarify, that's allowed? Producers are allowed to enter overseas markets even though this movie is being stalled here at the moment?
No. This is they will see the likelihood of the movie releasing. See, at the end of the day, they will still have to figure out, the theaters and so on and so forth. So if there is a possibility, then they will obviously reach out to overseas buyers and see, distributors and see the theater availability and so on. This is a normal process that happens. Of course, it completely depends on the final verdict by the judges today in the Madras High Court.
Right. Lata, we're just quickly getting in a word from Vijay as well. Do stay on with us. Vijay, what's the latest you're picking up from the Madras High Court today? We are given to understand through the information that Lata has disclosed that the single judge order has now been set aside. What does this mean for the producers and the film?
No, it is again a setback for Jana Nayagan team because, Chief Justice bench had said that the writ appeal filed by the CBFC is allowed, and he also orders, he had also ordered for set aside of a single judge order, which means a single judge order which allowed CBFC to grant U/A certificate for Jana Nayagan movie is set allowed. This verdict is seen as a setback for team Jana Nayagan and especially production house because the Chief Justice made observation in order saying that the single judge should have given a time for CBFC to file counter affidavit. So he had also ordered to the matter also remanded back to single judge for fresh hearing, which means again both the parties will file a petition before the court. They will hear both the sides, and again the matter is with the single judge bench. So again the fresh petition, all will start the fresh from today. I know this is seen as a great setback for the team Jana Nayagan.
Right. In fact, joining us for further clarity at this point, Vijay, is Veera as well. Veera, thank you so much for making time for us. From a legal standpoint, considering all that's coming from the Madras High Court so far this morning, who holds the advantage now?
Absolutely setback for Jana Nayagan. There is no clarity yet. The suspense over when it will release and when the legal battle will end will continue. As Vijay was just pointing out, what really happened, just for the sake of understanding, let me just put this straight. The single judge had ordered the CBFC to issue certification for the film. The order was challenged by the CBFC before a division bench of the Madras High Court. Now that after hearing the matter, the division bench has referred the matter back to the single judge. It has said that the single judge ought to have given CBFC time to make its case and sent the matter back, and a fresh hearing will go on before the single judge. Now, when that will start, how that process will play out, we'll know in the next coming days. But it means that the legal battle over Jana Nayagan continues over whether the CBFC should grant its certification immediately, whether it has to go back to a review committee. It'll be interesting to watch what the CBFC does as the hearing starts again before the single judge.
Indeed. Let's revert to Vijay Gopal Muralidharan, who's outside the court premises, who joins us with a live update. Vijay, what are the producers' immediate option as we speak, and what's the latest coming in from the High Court at the moment?
No, production house has very less option because the division bench of Madras High Court had said that the single bench will hear the petition as a fresh. So again, both the production house and CBFC have to file their arguments before them, and CBFC has to file the counter affidavit before the court. So again, everything is before the single bench now. Again, the court will hear all the arguments for both the side. But we have to wait and see what is the full order, whether the court had set any timeline for this. We have to get a full order very shortly. We will get a full order for a clear picture. But as of now, as we speak, with the few lines from the verdict, it is very clear. It is a great setback for Team Jana Nayagan because there is no clear information when the movie will get released. It is nowhere near to, because there were some predictions movie may get released on January 30 or at least by February first week or second week. But now with the court division bench referring the case again to the single bench, now the case will again before the single bench to start the hearing. So this is seen as a great setback. Again, the production house will argue before the single bench court. But however, it is very clear the production house has very less options. They may accept the court observation. They may allow CBFC to refer the movie to the revision committee after one member of the examination committee raised few issues. So now probably the production house may accept the CBFC's argument, saying that they may refer the movie to the revision committee, and again the revision committee will watch the movie and they have to issue the fresh certificate for the Jana Nayagan movie.
Vijay, so is it fair to say that the producer has lost all interim relief, or is there still any legal window left before the big release? Vijay, just hold your thoughts for a moment. I'm given to understand Veera Raghav has a point to make. Veera, go ahead.
Parameshwar, there was no interim relief. From the start, the relief was categorical when the single judge had ordered the CBFC to grant certification. That order was challenged by the CBFC before a division bench, and now the matter goes back to the single judge after the division bench sets aside the single judge's order, which means that the hearing will have to go over again. Let's not forget that this is a state that's heading into elections. We're expecting elections around second, third week of April, which means that the model code of conduct will come in place sometime in March. So when this film is going to be released right now is still a suspense. There was talk that it would be released by the second week of February, the Valentine's Day weekend. Now there's a question mark even over that. What happens before the single judge bench? Whether it will go back to the review committee, as Lata and Vijay have been pointing out, what the CBFC says and the arguments unfold there before the single judge again, who had initially delivered the order for the CBFC to issue certification, will determine the future of Jana Nayagan. So the key headline right now is that the question mark over Jana Nayagan's release and certification continues. It's a setback for the movie makers at the court because they had moved the Supreme Court, remember, and the Supreme Court had told them to go back to the High Court. So there seems to be very little legal recourse left for them except to go back and argue their case afresh before the single judge.